What's going on? This is Bolivar Trask, and this is the unboxing video of the G.I. Joe Classified Crystal Ball figure. We're going to be opening this up, checking it out, doing a little bit of a review, seeing how much we like this. This is a fairly coveted figure as of late, due to its exclusivity to Walmart, the sudden rush of them going up on the end cap displays, and also the issues with pre-orders that are rumored to have been happening about cancelizations and such. So we're gonna go ahead and open this guy up and take a look and see if it's worth the hype, worth the money. It's number 159, so it's pretty deep into the run of classifieds. Got some pretty sick looking side art here. I personally keep all these side panel pieces as a little bit of a display, since they have kind of gone away from the old file card days, from the vintage toys. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at what we got here. First thing I notice, there is something still on the inside. It looks like it's his shield, so we'll pull that out. Set aside that for later. So yes, as you can see, it looks like it's his shield. The little logo goes in the shield. It's like a snake, like a green mystical snake that goes inside the shield. Pretty cool looking. So we'll set that aside. We'll open up the shield here, get that out. Now I do have this vintage character somewhere in my collection. Oh. So it looks like we have a little bit of the lenticular, the classic, on the shield, as well as this that appears to pop in. I'm not going to put it in there because I'm going to show this off a little bit. You can see the lenticular snakes moving in and out. It is kind of cool, and then this does appear to pop in. It's a little snug. These are built much more sturdy than the old classics, especially at this day and age. This you know, the classics are a 30-some-year-old toy at this point. So that looks like it pops in like that. Looks like there's a tab here, possibly for some of the effects to come on. Actually, it does not look like that. The effects do anything in this one. And then to pop it out, looks like it's just to pop out. It's very cool. We'll set those aside up here. Move the garbage out of the way. And then we got the actual figure himself here. Let's see. Going to get crunchy because of these plastic trays that they're in. There's the figure. Looks like we have a pistol with some really cool design on the barrel. We have a spare hand. We have some sort of a object that looks to be handheld. They have an alternate head that looks absolutely sick. And then this sword that looks amazing. The coloring on the plastic is really, really cool looking. So let's see, pop the hand out. The hand looks like it's a very evil, grasping hand. Goes on his gloved, his left hand. The trench coat he's wearing, it's a plastic that's got some flex to it. He's got two necklaces that don't really want to sit straight because of the way his hair is, kind of making him stand straight out. That's an interesting feature, I suppose. There's the really cool looking sword. It's very, very cool. And we've got pistols held in by a little piece of Scotch tape. And then it comes right out. It's a play on a revolver, but it's got that cool gold. It's almost like a sight, but then it's got the gold wrap all the way around it. It's very, very cool looking. The alternate head is really a strong selling feature of this. That is very cool. Very Cthulhu-esque with the massive horns, the effects going down the back. The jewel in the forehead, the colored eyes. In my lighting, they look red. The camera kind of looks gold. It's hard to see. Very cool. And then the last little featured item is it's his actual crystal ball, his namesake. And it appears that there is something inside. But it's real hard to tell exactly what it is. Almost looks skull-like, but it's real small and hard to tell. And this looks like it's flat-bottomed. It's made to possibly be held in this hand, perhaps. It's a little bit big for that hand, so maybe it's just a cool little nod to the mysticism of the character. But he's got very loose joints. The head has, well, it pops off very easy. That's an interesting thing. So once you re-put that on there, the one necklace lays down a little bit better. The one with the blue lays down a little better. The gold one doesn't seem to want to. And then obviously those are removable. Let's see if we can get them to lay down a little bit better. Nope, looks like I made it worse. But he's got full rotation, full articulation. He's got a double jointed belly. I didn't notice the gold design on his shirt. That's very cool. I vaguely remember this character being like Dr. Mindbender, where he was shirtless underneath, and that was always a weird touch, I thought. But he's got the tattoo on the arm, got another one on this arm, and then he's got the semblance of a little resemblance of a chest tattoo there. Plus he wears the eye makeup. Very interesting. Let's see if we can fix these necklaces. So we got that one. Let's put the green one on the bottom and put the gold one on the top. Let's see if we can get them to lay down proper. It's a little bit better. but once you move his head, they start to stand up a little bit. So, speaking of standing, this camera angle is not very good for showing it, but he does stand up very good. Let's pop this other head on and see what it looks like. Now that is an ominous looking character right there. Very demonic looking. Let's give him his sword in his hand. Let's see what this all looks like when it's all together. That is very, very cool. The sword and the alternate head right now they're my favorite parts of this character. They make this really stand out. You know, G.I. Joe has never been afraid of dabbling in a little bit of the ridiculous. You know, with right down from like, you know, the origins of like Cobra Law to like, you know, towards later they were like everything's in space, you know, and then we got zombies for a second there and like the little revival. This doesn't really fit into his hand very good. I don't love how this gun goes in. His hand's just a little too closed for it. Might have to mess with this and kind of open him up a little bit. But yeah, his hand's just a little too tight to get this in here. Worst case scenario, he does have a slot on his leg to put the gun in there, a little gun belt on his leg. He's got a finger that is separate that could go through the trigger, but it just doesn't want to stay in. And it's getting all mashed in there, so we'll have to do some off-camera work of fixing that up. So for the meantime, we'll just put it in the holster before we hurt anything too badly. Well, like I said, the alternate hand looks like it wants to be able to hold his crystal ball, but it just doesn't quite fit right any way you put it in there. This is probably the biggest knock on this figure so far, is that the crystal ball doesn't seem to have any function. It looks like it's there as like a cool little nod, but it's not actively useful. Let's put his shield on. Let's see if we can get this looking good. So it does have the open straps, so you don't have to thread it through the arm 2 times. You just have to thread it through his hand. And you can kind of get him to hold it similar to the gun. But again, this hand on mine is a little closed. I don't know if it's going to be the same for all of them, but it is very, very closed and doesn't seem to want to hold on to anything very easily. Kind of have to do a little pry just to get him to hold on to stuff, like his gun and the shield and such. Now that I've got it on, partially, I'm not even sure that's the right hand for it, because it's supposed to kind of have the skull facing up, so I think it's actually a left-handed deal. So let's put his sword over on this side. We're gonna make him a lefty, or I guess that is a right hand. It's left for me, but so instantly I'm not loving the hands on this guy. Some of these figures have a little bit more forgiving hands where you can get them to hold their items a lot easier. This one so far seems to be quite the struggle. I finally got it, but they sure didn't make it easy. And then I noticed this, the joints are light enough that, you know, the shield for a second there, like, kind of drops the hand. So very loose joints on mine. Would be concerned if this is a thing for all of these particular guy. But you know, like I said, though, this alternate head kind of makes it all worth it. The details are very cool, You know, a lot of the printing on the back of the coats. This tattoo wraps around the back of his arms. The ultra gloved left hand. The shield with the two different options of visuals. The belt buckle, very cool looking belt buckle. And like I said, like the design on the shirt looks very cool. Get a little bit in the lights. The dual necklaces it's a good idea. The execution doesn't exactly come off great, especially on the normal head. The normal head, the necklaces seem to stick straight out rather than naturally lay down on his chest. But very cool. Let's go back to the original head. The original head pops off much easier than the Cthulhu head. I wonder if that's just a size of the actual cutout. I also notice his hair kind of presses up against the collar of the jacket. So the hair on the main head is an issue in a couple of different aspects, where it's makes the necklaces not lay down flat, and then it's definitely hitting the rest of the jacket. So he's a very good looking shelf poser, it looks like. You know, he's especially with that alternate head, you get the green effects going. You can put the green effects on the shield, get them all greened out. Very cool for you know, standability. Very good shelf presence. But there is some problems with this figure. This is by no means the perfect figure. It's got mine in particular has loose joints. The hair is a little bit of an issue. The head being a very big issue, if you ask me, because like I said, it doesn't take a ton of force to remove the basic head. You know, the main, you know, the main character head just kind of doesn't seem to want to stay permanent on. But it is a very cool looking figure. He's kind of a weird cult classic in the lore, and I'm glad to have it. I got lucky with mine. I was able to get into the Walmart pre-order online within hours of it going up, and mine never got canceled. So I'm very fortunate in that aspect to have received what I wanted. But yeah, his chest, I don't know if you can hear it or not, it's got a click to it when you bend him over. He's got a little bit of a waist joint, but it doesn't seem to want to turn very good. Like I said, his belly, there you go, seems like it's got a pop, and then if you don't pop it back all the way, he kind of has like a hunch to him. So, you know, a little critical of this figure, because, you know, G.I. Joe Classified has come out with some very good figures. They don't have too many misses, and this one is a very good figure, but like I said, it's not perfect by any means. There's some potential issues with it, but yeah, it's a very cool looking figure. I don't dislike it, and I can easily see some scenarios hooking this guy up with like a Dr. Mindbender or like a Serpentor. You know, it's got some usage for displays, some dioramas, if you will, however you choose to utilize these figures. Me, I'm a displayer, and I have some ideas for some pictorials, some potentially some videos and stuff. So I've got some ideas what to do with him, and yeah, he's easily a good addition to my collection. So, but that'll be all for this video. This was the crystal ball unboxing and review, and we'll hope to do some more of these. You can like and subscribe if you want to see some more of this content, and I will see what I can do about pumping it out. Until next time, thank you.